Most people think they have no good stories. They think they have to be some kind of world-traveling adventurer to have a good story. But I will show you how to find powerful stories in your own life experiences with the 3 basic principles of selfless storytelling. I'm Tom, and this is Selfless Storytelling, Part 1. Before we jump in, here's a quick introduction. I created this training because I want storytelling to be simple. I'm incredibly passionate about this topic because a storytelling communication style has been essential to my role as a business leader. Most of my knowledge, though, I learned the hard way through years and years of research, training, and practice. But I distilled all that knowledge into a simple program that works, and I'm going to teach it to you. Here's the big idea. If you don't know it already, storytelling is the most powerful way to communicate. Just search in Google and you will bring up thousands of books, websites, articles, whole companies heralding the amazing power of story. To sum it all up, storytelling engages our brains like nothing else can. When you communicate with story, it increases people's ability to remember and focus and engage and relate to what you're saying. A storytelling presentation is remembered. A storytelling teaching changes lives. And a storytelling sales pitch wins the sale every time. A storytelling communication style is the new normal in the business world, and it's either the thing that's accelerating your career or it's the thing holding you back. This is just one part of a multi-part video training. So make sure you check out the other videos just to make sure you don't miss anything. Also, go to tomhansentraining.com. I have a free workbook there that will help you seamlessly incorporate story into any kind of communication you're doing. It's the step-by-step guide that will lead you there. It's amazing. Go check it out. Through this training, we will do 3 things. 1, we will learn the 3 basic principles of selfless storytelling. 2, we will discover a powerful connection story out of your own life experiences. And 3, we will learn to integrate stories into any kind of communication you're doing, whether that's a presentation, a teaching, or a sales pitch. So let me tell you about the first time I saw a selfless storyteller. I love coffee. Coffee is so good. That's good. Delicious. All right, here we go. Let's do this. His name was Rhett. And Rhett is a business leader. He has been a mentor to me, a boss to me, and a really good friend for many years. But he is also an incredible speaker, teacher, trainer. I was sitting in one of his classes, and he was teaching me, and he was telling these incredible stories. I was incredibly captivated. The whole class. We'd be laughing, we'd be crying, we'd be just engaged in anything that he said, hanging on his every word. And it was because he told these powerful stories. But one thing he said sticks with me to this day. In front of the whole class, he looked at the class and he said, "Listen, guys, I want you to know something. I'm here for you." But not in like a cliche way, like, "Hey man, don't worry about it, I'm here for you." No, like for real. I'm here. The reason I'm here, the reason all of this is here, these materials, this class, everything, it's for you. It's all for you. I am here for you. And that was such a powerful statement. I wrote it in a journal. I think about it regularly, even to this day. But I think that statement sums up what a selfless storyteller is. A selfless storyteller is a communicator that puts the audience first in every way. You know that they're the reason why you're doing anything that you're doing. And everything you do should be dictated and should be surrounding their needs, their desires, their likes, their values. It's about them. It's about the audience, not you as the communicator. I hope I can pass along Rhett's wisdom to you because he exemplifies what a selfless storyteller is. So let's talk about the 3 ways that you can be a selfless storyteller. The first way to be a selfless storyteller is to remember passion over perfection. Passion over perfection. I was talking to a good friend recently and she had a big presentation coming up. And she was just struggling with the insecurities that come along with giving a big presentation. I don't know if you can relate to that. She was just like, I don't know if anyone's going to want to listen to me. I'm not the smartest person. I'm not even the oldest person. There's way more experienced, older people out there in the audience. Why would they want to listen to anything I have to say? Can you relate to that? I know I can. But the thing I told her is more than anything, the thing that people care about most is seeing an excited, passionate person. You got to get excited and passionate about whatever you're talking about. It's one of the reasons why I make a point to always say in a presentation, I'm excited or I'm passionate. I just throw that in there. And that's mostly to remind me that I have got to be excited and passionate. That's what people want to hear. They care more about an excited, passionate person than they do about someone who has the right credentials, the right pedigree. People care more about that than seeing a polished presentation. They want to see excited, passionate people. Be one of them. When given the choice between an excited, passionate amateur and a boring expert, people will take the amateur every time. The second way to be a selfless storyteller is to forget the details. People really struggle when telling stories, and one of the biggest challenges they have is they feel like they have to tell every single detail. And they have to tell those details in the order that they happened. And I think people get caught up in the idea of telling the truth and being honest and trustworthy, and I think that's great, that's awesome. I'm not telling you to lie, but I am telling you that no one wants to hear every single detail of your stories. Entertainers have known this for years. Recently I heard about Liberace, and Liberace famously sold out Radio Music City Hall 17 times in 21 days in a back-to-back concert series. It was incredible and unprecedented. On the first night of the concert series, he gets up on stage in front of the audience and he says, "I want everyone to know that in the audience tonight is a couple that met at one of my shows and they have been married for 50 years. It was powerful. The whole audience erupted and cheered. It was awesome. And he said that on the first night. He also said that on every single night after that. It wasn't true. He wasn't true. He was just making it up because he knew that it would get a big reaction. Now, if that rubs you the wrong way and you just feel weird about that, like, oh, is that lying? I'm not telling you to lie. You don't have to be like that. But Alfred Hitchcock once said that drama, good drama, is really just life with all the dull bits cut out. And that's your job as a storyteller. You got to cut out the dull bits. And you got to arrange things in a way that people want to hear them. Forget the details of your story. Just include the most essential details and try to build them in a way that will captivate people, that will engage people. If you really want to be a selfless storyteller, you got to learn what details to keep and what details to keep out. Let's talk about the third way to be a selfless storyteller. The third way to be a selfless storyteller is to activate a schema. Activate a schema. Schema is this psychological term to refer to the system that your mind uses to process, store, and retrieve information. It's probably the most important thing you've forgotten from psych class, but you can think about it as file folders in your brain. Anytime you learn something new, you store it, and then when you engage in new other information, you rely on that to interpret it. You know, one example, I saw this firsthand. I was watching the new Planet Earth series with my son, my 3-year-old son, his name's Harding, and we're sitting there and a family of raccoons comes on the screen and he goes, "Oh, look, Papa, cats, it's a cat." And I go, "No, Harding, it's not a cat, it's a raccoon." He goes, "What? No, it's a cat." I go, "No, it's a raccoon. Do you see the striped tail, the pointy ears, it's standing up?" And he goes, "Oh, okay, it's a raccoon." And the next time he saw a raccoon, he goes, "Oh, that's a raccoon." And what did he do there? It was all schema. He saw a raccoon, and the only thing that he had to relate to what he was seeing was a cat, so he pulled on that to interpret what he was seeing. Then, once he had it, he could rely on it. Said another way, you always rely on the familiar to interpret the world around you. And schemas are all very individual and unique because they're based on your experiences. Schemas are very emotional, and they have a lot of values and behaviors tied up in them. They dictate how you interpret and how you interact with the world. But sometimes you'll see collective schemas, and these are schemas held by a large group of people because they have similar knowledge, experiences, and memories. When I was trying to launch a blog, I discovered positive collective schemas, and they exploded the views of my blog overnight. So like many of you, I wanted to help people, I wanted to change the world, and I had messages that I felt like needed to be out there that were going to make the world a better place. So what better way to do that than start a blog, right? We've all been there, you've done this, okay? So I wrote a blog. I spent hours coming up with a clever name and the background. You know, I wanted to do the books and the pencils to make it look academic, you know what I mean? And so I write my first post, and I pour my heart and soul into this post, and in my mind I'm going, this is going to change the world. The world's going to be a better place because of the wisdom of Tom Hansen. But anyway, I wrote the blog, published it, put it on Facebook, went to bed, woke up, and I had a whopping 26 views on that blog. That's pretty bad because that's a low number, but that's equally as sad because if I'm honest with myself, most of those views were just me refreshing the page over and over again. But I just shook it off and I go, okay, you know what? I'm going to try again. Let's write another one. I write another blog. I think this blog is better than the first one. I publish it. I put it on Facebook. I go to bed. I check it in the morning. And in the morning, I had 24 views. I had gone down. And I was incredibly frustrated. So I decided, it was a really hot summer day, so I decided I'm going to go to Starbucks to get an iced frappa something and just drown my sorrows in caffeinated sugary beverage. And so I drive there, and by my house there's this really busy 4-lane highway. It's called Beachmont Avenue. And so I pull off, go to Starbucks, come out, I'm standing at the light, and I'm looking across Beachmont Avenue, 4 lanes of traffic, heat waves coming off of the road, and I'm looking through it, and I see one of those roadside sign holding guys. He was standing there and he was dancing. I mean, not just dancing, I mean popping, locking, dropping. It was awesome. And it just made me smile. I thought it was really unique. He had sunglasses on, his earbuds in, a brightly striped tank top, cut off jeans, and he was dancing on the side of the road with his mattress store advertisement that he was holding. And it just struck me as unique and different and made me smile. I thought it was awesome. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to write a blog about that guy. I'm going to write a blog and I'm going to say the 3 things I learned from the Beachmont Dancing Man. Whatever, I know, super unique and creative. But anyway, I wrote the blog, published it, put it on Facebook, went to bed, and the next morning I woke up to a notification on my phone. I had an email from Channel 9 News. They wanted to interview me about my blog. So I'm going, how did Channel 9 see my blog? So I checked my views, and overnight, I had 4,000 views on that blog. It was incredible. And I thought, man, I have unlocked something powerful here. Whatever this is, I need to repeat this in every communication I have to do. What was so powerful was I activated a collective schema. Beachmont Avenue is a really busy road. There are hundreds of people driving it every day, and hundreds of people had seen that same guy and had the same feeling I did. Right? They activated a schema and they built it around the Beachmont Dancing Man. And just activating that alone made my blog so much more powerful. So with collective schemas, that's what you have to do as a selfless storyteller. Find those collective schemas and activate them with your communication. Some of the best ones that I find, I call them schema stories because they are very common proverbs, narrative stories that exist in our culture. If you can find them and if you can bring your communication and graft it to those stories, you will see the power of your communication explode. One great example is the Cinderella story. Think about the Cinderella story. The rags to riches story, we've heard it hundreds of times. We have a virtuous character, restrained by some kind of oppressor, rescued by an advocate, and lives happily ever after. If you can tell that story, if you can activate that schema with your communication, you will see the power of your communication explode. Okay guys, that's it for me. Those are the 3 basic principles of selfless storytelling. Go use them. 1, passion over perfection. 2, forget the details. And 3, activate a schema. Make sure you check out the other videos. We're going to keep digging into this selfless storytelling thing, and I'm going to make you the storyteller that everyone loves. If you haven't done it already, make sure you go to tomhansentraining.com to download that free workbook. It's going to help you seamlessly incorporate a personal story into your presentation, teaching, or pitch, whatever you got to do. If you like this video, please like, follow, subscribe on all the things. It really helps people find the content. I would really appreciate it. Until then, become the selfless storyteller. Keep watching the videos. Go get the workbook. You guys are awesome. Bye.